So hi guys, yes, the 200 or 600mm G lens from Sony. Just talking about the autofocusing issues whilst tracking birds and things like that. You can see one tracking one now, taking pictures. Still a massive hit and miss scenario. And here are my settings. So basically, AFC. I was in zone or wide autofocus, not using the tracking autofocus systems. My usual usage on all of my cameras is wide, zone, spot or small spot. Small spot I generally use for pinpointing through branches and things like that to get birds sat in the trees. I'm using a burst rate normally of high, but I have tried on this lens the high, normal, high plus and medium and low. I thought if I used a slower burst rate it may help the autofocus have a little bit extra time to stay on the subject, but it didn't really make much difference. I was using the apertures f5.6, 6.3 depending on the zoom rate. Also ISO 400 up to ISO 2000, and my shutter speed rates have been anywhere between 1600 and 3200 per second. Looking at the a few videos online, as Mark Smith is a YouTuber as well, looked at one of his videos and he actually went through the A7R4 and set up a couple of things I didn't actually know. So I've kind of looked at what he said, tried a few things out, and it's not really made any difference. So I've started looking through the camera and adjusting a few autofocus settings here and there, and one I've come up across, which you kind of think, oh, I'll whack it up to full whack, is the autofocus tracking sensitivity. So I had it on 5 for a long time. As soon as I got the camera, oh, it must be better, put it on 5. But today I've been using it on sort of 3, 2 and 1, just to think, okay, maybe it needs to slow it down a bit to be a bit more accurate on this type of lens. Don't know. Anybody else's thoughts on that would be great. Not really sure, but I've left it on 1, 2 or 3, moving it around a little bit. Obviously making sure that the lens is in mode 2 or 3 for panning and following the birds, because obviously 1 is designed for stationary animals. Yeah, so there's a few obviously things that I've adjusted, but it just doesn't seem to make all that much difference. I have put a load of photos in this video as well, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But that's basically my settings, and that's the kind of shutter speeds I've been shooting up to 4,000th of a second. Most of the time 3200 and slightly less, and up to ISO 2000, and shooting even f8 just to see if a little bit extra depth could help, but it didn't seem to make all that amount of difference, which was obviously a little bit annoying. And it's not a hugely expensive lens, but it's not cheap at the same time. It's a very good lens. The build quality is good. The sharpness of the lens when it is in focus is incredible. It's really, really good. Love having it, but it's just frustrating that this doesn't want to do as it's told as such. So yeah, I'm going to mess around with the a few other settings as well over the next few days, just messing around, just sort of going through things really, see if I can actually make it better. We're lucky on the weather's been relatively good, and yeah, so here are some of the photos which I'm going to show you and talk about them as we go through. So Dungeness Power Station, beautiful clear day, so the weather was absolutely perfect, sunny, plenty of light. Lower the ISOs, I was on at ISO 400, like I say, 1600th to 2000th of a second on these shots. Got a few of them in focus. This bird was cruising. He was not, or she was not going fast, 20 miles an hour along the coast, and I was just following the bird. And some were in shot, some weren't in shot. As you can see, it's not that far away. Yeah, I understand maybe it was blending in a little bit, but in reality, the camera was tracking it. I could see the focus points staying on it. But every time you press the trigger, when you actually zoom in and see where it actually focused in real life, feel free to pause these, by the way. I've just done a shorter clip, so if you pause you'll see they're well out of focus, most of them. It's just annoying. It's just frustrating that, like I say, I was using a Konica Minolta 7D back in 2006 with a 50 to 500 non-stabilised lens, and I was getting a better hit rate with flying birds doing this sort of photography. you know, there's something up. There's something not quite right with the firmware. These are all cropped in because it's just the sky now. It's up above the sea level as such, as it came back down again. Obviously you can see a bit more sea, but they're still cropped in. Again, just decided to back focus completely, don't know why. And it's in the middle of the frame, and I've been following that bird fully. It's just hit and miss all the time. And this is 32 shots over, you know, a few seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So as again, there's got the one there I've actually edited, but as you can see, it's softish. Some are okay, some of it's picking on the wing, which is obviously understandable. Yes, it was getting further away. This one here, duck right in front of me, just wouldn't lock on. And I was at 200mm. I was about 6 to 8 meters away, so I was way back from the minimal focus distance. And then finally it locked, and then it did actually follow it a little bit. It's just frustration. Frustration is the thing about this. It's hopefully fixable, and I'm hoping Sony will deal with this. Now they've seen some more evidence that, you know, obviously there may be an issue. Jackdaw flying again. I got a few shots of these, are okay. Relatively centre in the frame. This is on wide focus, obviously cropped in a little bit as well, so obviously lost a little bit of the image. Same here. Yes, I'm kind of shooting into bright light a little bit, but in theory it's a high contrast dark subject to hit, so in theory it should pinpoint it quite easily because it's there. You know, so I just hope that they can fix this, and there's obviously something not quite right. A7R4 obviously was newer than the lens. Maybe the lens just needs updating, a little bit of a firmware tweak. But when it gets focus on static shots or stuff that's not moving around too quickly, like birds wandering around eating and things like that, it's unbelievable. Really, really good lens. Very, very sharp. Even cyclists just out for a ride, no problem at all. You know, wasn't an issue. It just seems to be the faster moving stuff. This seagull here actually locked onto his wing just about. It's not all that sharp, but I still quite like the shot. He's got the shadow and everything. This shot here, stationary, just decided to put his wing up. I don't know what was going on there, but as you can see, nice and sharp, not a problem at all. This shot here, not too bad, but again, I haven't put them in, but out of about 20 or 30 shots of the burst of the seagull cruising past, I missed probably 20 out of the 30. This shot here, this shows you how sharp this thing is. A little bit of a cropping, but unbelievable lens, really, absolutely brilliant, really, really cool. And again, Jackdaw having a drink on the table there. Really love the lens. It's just this frustration of the moving subjects that we just can't lock onto. Blue tip there. Yeah, so I'm hoping Sony. I've emailed you with all the details, the links to my YouTube channel, with the obviously talking about it on the previous video. So hopefully we'll get some results back, and hopefully they can help and look at it a bit further. I know it might take some time. They may even have a firmware thing being written at the moment, but until then I'm still going to be using the lens. Still love it, but I just want to get some better shots with the moving subjects. So anyway guys, take care, and please comment below if you have got this lens and this combo. So mainly the A7R4 with the 200 or 600mm f5.6 6.3 G lens. A few people I know have got this set up and they are struggling. Some people don't seem to think they are. Some people are having a little bit of a back focus problem with the A7R3. So any comments below, feel free. Hopefully Sony will see this and have a read as well. So it just helps everyone at the end of the day. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, click that little notification bell as well, and I shall see you soon, hopefully with some good news in the near future. So take care, bye.